105 years ago, on August 26, 1920, Americans added the 19th Amendment to the nation's fundamental law. It declared, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." During the Civil War, women had backed the United States armies with their money, their loved ones, their labor, and even their lives. In its aftermath, many of them expected a say in how the divided nation would rebuild. To their dismay, when congressmen wrote the 14th Amendment, they explicitly tied the right to vote to men, inserting the word male into the Constitution in 1868 for the first time. In 1869, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony formed the National Woman Suffrage Association, calling for a general reworking of gender roles in American society. 6 months later, Lucy Stone and Julia Ward Howe founded the American Woman Suffrage Association to focus on the right to vote, believing that all other rights would come through voting. The 1870 15th Amendment that protected black men's voting rights failed to include women, so suffragists decided to test their right to vote as citizens under the 14th Amendment. When a Missouri official refused to permit suffragist Virginia Minor to register to vote in 1872, she sued him, and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court. But in 1875, the justices decided that although women were citizens, citizenship did not necessarily convey the right to vote. For the next 2 decades, American women of all races and backgrounds developed political power, working together to clean up cities and protect children, and rallying to stop lynching and promote civil rights. The 2 major suffrage associations merged into the National American Woman Suffrage Association in 1890 and worked to change state voting laws. In 1918, the year after the U.S. entered World War I, President Woodrow Wilson called for a constitutional amendment for suffrage because he needed women's votes. Congress passed the measure in 1919, and on August 18, 1920, Tennessee became the last state to ratify it. The deciding vote came from State Senator Harry T. Byrne, whose mother urged him to vote yes. On August 26th, the 19th Amendment became the law of the land. 26 million American women had gained the right to vote in the 1920 presidential election, but most black women and women of color would remain unable to vote for another 45 years until the 1965 Voting Rights Act finally brought full suffrage to the United States of America.